This is bad news for the finals. So on screen, you are seeing the trailer for Marvel Rivals, which is a team-based first-person shooter featuring lots of Marvel characters. And this game is launching on December 6th, and the new season of the finals is launching on December 12th. So there's obviously a little bit of overlap there. So this game, which is guaranteed to have a huge player base just from the people that like Marvel alone, is going to generate a lot of hype because it's also going to be an alternative to Overwatch 2 or League of Legends or the finals. Marvel Rivals is being made by the same team that made Once Human, which recently popped off on the Steam chart and still has a pretty strong player base. I can see a lot of the finals' relatively small player base transitioning to Marvel Rivals instead. Firstly, because it's going to be a new free game, so obviously everyone is going to just try it out because it's free. Secondly, because it's basically guaranteed to have a ton of players, which encourages more people to jump in on the hype train. And thirdly, but kind of primarily, because it's quite likely to be a better game. The finals has had issues since Season 1 that still have not been resolved and not even talked about at all. Visual recoil is a large one. Bullets simply don't go where your crosshair is. The developers are continuously heavily nerfing things, and the rank system has pretty much always been bad. But even if those were fixed, the finals still has some problems that just aren't really going to get resolved anytime soon. This includes everything being server-side, meaning the movement can feel a little bit floaty, and it doesn't really feel too great to be consistently killed around corners. The finals also doesn't have basic features such as the ability to see your frames per second or ping, which are yet to be implemented. These are issues that Marvel Rivals most likely just isn't going to have, at least on launch, but even if it does, then it's not going to matter because it's still going to have a huge player base. Everyone's going to be downloading and installing it and trying it out, and that will last for about a week, at which point the new season of the finals will have launched. So I guess the point of this video is to A, talk about Marvel Rivals for anyone that isn't aware of it, and B, to say that Embark needs to start fixing their issues, because otherwise another game is going to come along with a greater number of people that will be interested. This will mean that it's quite likely that Marvel Rivals will end up stealing some of the finals player base, which, to be frank, it can't really afford to lose. If the finals doesn't start fixing its problems, I think more and more people are going to end up switching to a different game, especially since there are aspects of the finals that are much more grindy than they originally were, like the Battle Pass, which I think a lot of players don't enjoy. Now, I don't think it's going to die completely, but having a larger player base is better than having a smaller player base. Delta Force Hawk Ops is also coming along, which is essentially Battlefield 2042, but not absolutely awful. It also has a Tarkov-like game mode, which is probably going to dethrone that after a long time, and deservedly so. So even if you're not a fan of a game like Overwatch, then maybe you'll like something like Battlefield or Tarkov and quit the finals to go play those games, because they most likely aren't going to be released for several months without having fixed any of their core issues, which the finals has done. With all that said, I am very much looking forward to Arc Raiders. I think that game has an absolutely crazy amount of potential, and I think even in the alphas it was much better and way more unique than the current state of the finals, and I hope that the new seasons of the finals start to actually stop listening to the community so much, which has been a major cause of all of these issues and where they stem from, and also fix the known issues that have been there since day one of Season 1, and everything needs to start being buffed instead of being nerfed, because otherwise the game is going to feel worse and worse and worse and worse, and more unfun and more unfun and more unfun, and people are just going to switch to other games that feel more fun than the finals. So there you have it. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to be it for this video. If you liked it, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Farewell.